What is up, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Don't Shoot Disc Golf podcast. I am your host, Harry Messenger, and I'm coming to you live from my studio here in South Manchester. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I want to give a massive shout out, as always, to our show sponsors for making this happen. London Disc Golf Community sponsoring the YouTube stream, and Disc Golf UK sponsoring the podcast. New-ish, well, not that new anymore, but we've got the Don't Shoot Stonehenge stamped discs. They are up on both London Disc Golf Community and Disc Golf UK. They're going like hotcakes. Everyone is picking one up, supporting the show, supporting me, and supporting our retail partners. So I'm really proud of that. If you haven't seen the artwork, you got the beautiful Stonehenge. You've got the Don't Shoot logo. You've got the DFX, and you've got the shooting stars in the sky with a disc on the end of the shooting star. So there you go. Tonight's guest joining me from his home down south is of course Dale from the Am side, and I should be able to bring him onto the show with me right now. Hello, Dale.
All right, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Very good to be back. I think it's my third time now.
I think it is your third.
I feel like a veteran on the Don't Shoot. So
yeah, regular on the podcast. I appreciate you coming on again and filling in as this week's guest.
I've always got something to say, Harry. You know that.
I do, and it's always very interesting, and we're glad to have your opinions and stuff. So how's it been going the last few months, Dale?
Yeah, it's been good. Haven't had much competition. Had the Essex Open. Managed to get myself to a finals, so pretty happy with that. It was my first 2-day event.
Very
Obviously,
nice.
Other half of the Am side, taking down the win. So yeah, it's just been working on form, and learning how to be a dad.
There you go. Lots going on.
Always.
And yeah, cool to hear that you and Rob were both on the finals. That's a very good effort at the same tournament.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was like a podcast off. It had like me, Rob, Dennis, and Duffy all like in the mix. You know?
Hey.
I was on chase card with Duffy. Dennis was on lead card with Rob, and it was just it was good banter all weekend. And yeah, I was a bit surprised I got into the finals. All I wanted to do was just shoot above my rating. Creeksy at the start of the year demolished it, so I just wanted to get my rating back up, which thankfully I managed to do.
Nice.
So it's back to the grind, and then back to the goals of next year, really. Just playing some more tournaments and seeing where we can go.
Fantastic. Sorting my lighting situation out, Billy. There we go. Yeah, that's really good. So what's your rating sitting at now?
836. It was 834 before, and then Creeksy. Me and Creeksy, just if anyone listens to the podcast, they know that Creeksy is just my nemesis, and I took an absolute beating on a one day at the start of the year. Took me down to 777 or something like that. So managed to at Essex, I shot like a 895, 860, and an 850. So completely boosted me back up. So the road to 850 is back on, and then hopefully by the end of next year, pushing the 900 if we can get to as many tournaments as possible.
Yeah, fantastic. Cool. So sounds good. I'm glad that you're getting on and getting to play some tournaments, and planning on playing a few more next year. That's really exciting news.
My next one's Gillies. I'm going to get down to Gillies for the Arrow Valley Championship. I'm very excited to play Gillies. So want to support the boys at Arrow Valley. It's a one-dayer in November, so it'll be a bit cold, but I cannot wait to play some wooded golf.
Yeah, I guess we could. It's kind of a good intro into the first topic of tonight. We've got the UK Disc Golf news, of course. So yeah, a little bit controversial, I would say. The Gillies competition, the Arrow Valley Championships, because they announced that it was PDGA sanctioned, which was certainly interesting, being that the Quarry Park tournament, the British Open, is the same weekend and is very close. Quarry Park being a B tier, hopefully my information isn't out of date and it is still the same weekend, because I know
because the one I'm talking about is in November.
Is it in November? Did they move the event, or did they?
I think there was a couple of events they put out, because the one I'm talking about is in November. Is like the championships at Gillies. I'm not sure. There definitely was a few events announced by them.
Yeah,
but unsure.
I thought it was the one on the same day as the Quarry Park one, but that's not in November. That's in 2 weeks, isn't it?
That is in 2 weeks. Yeah.
So maybe they're going to Gillies. Maybe they're going to Gillies twice. I'm not entirely sure.
Be happening. Right, I'm on Facebook. I'm finding out live.
Yeah, this is terrible podcast content with us both just on Facebook looking for the answers. But there we go. So the Allo Valley Championship is on the 7th of November.
It's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one is at Arrow Valley.
Oh, okay. Where do I see Gillies then?
Gillies is on the 17th of October at Gillies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, interesting.
So that was the one that was a little bit controversial, because
very controversial.
It's on the same day as the British Open, and of course Gillies and Quarry Park are about 15 miles from each other. So the reason they're technically allowed to do it is because Quarry Park are running MA2 as the lowest division. Yeah. And Gillies are only going to run MA3 and MA4.
I don't see it as controversial then. I see it as another tournament for players that can get into champs, can get into British Open.
So the reason why it's controversial is because British Open hasn't filled up yet.
But I don't know. I suppose then when Dell puts the ratings down again, I don't know.
Yeah, so the ratings are down to 825 now. So
it's down to 825.
Yep. So anybody over 825 can sign up for the 2-day Quarry Park tournament now. And yeah, there's differences between the 2 days and the 1 day. And there's people who might not be confident enough to play in the British Open might want to still play a PDGA event. So there's arguments both sides. But for me, the British Open is the most prestigious event of the year, and the idea that there's another tournament that could take even one player out of the field is a little bit suspect to me.
Most prestigious event of the year that's not contributing to champs.
Yeah, it's kind of tradition that it doesn't contribute to champs because they're always run at the end of the year. So you get the British Open champion and you get the British champion from champs as well. So it's always a little bit of an interesting one, seeing which players prioritise which, and whether that's the structure that will work, because there's been a lot of people I've heard saying things about the fact that there's not going to be, because I got some inside details on it, but that according to the BDGA's spreadsheet, there will only be 7 MPO players invited for champs.
Yeah, this is not going to happen, is it? No,
there's definitely going to be more than that. Don't worry about that, guys. We're gonna have a little bit more than that, but we're hoping to expand the field a little bit, and we're gonna. I don't know if this is a good time to tease it, Dale, but there might be some British Champs content coming to you guys soon on the AM side.
Who knows? Little Birdie tells me it could be happening.
Yeah, I had a rumor or two.
Well, we do like to get an exclusive over at the AM side. We was exclusive interview with the Women's Disc Golf Association. So who knows? Keep your ears out next week.
Yeah, you got all of the big news on the AM side.
We do what we can.
Yeah, so there's also some slightly sadder UK disc golf news that got announced today, that came out today, which is that Bedworth Disc Golf Club appear to have been somewhat blindsided by their local council and are losing 6 of their holes, with the potential that they might lose 2 more. It was announced in the newspapers today, this morning, that there's been granted £300,000 in grant money to the park, that they're going to be investing in turning a large area of the park into a BMX cycling destination.
Why do they keep popping up?
Don't ask me.
It's always at the Olympics. Something happens. Someone does well at the Olympics. They're like, right, we now need to feed the UK with that sport.
Yeah, and obviously as disc golfers, it's very disappointing for us, because BMX is not only much less space efficient, like you can't have as many people using the BMX facilities as you can disc golf. It's also much less accessible. Disc golf can be played by pretty much anybody. Like, as long as you can, even if you can't walk, you can play in a wheelchair. Like, there's anybody can play. I've seen 3-year-olds playing, and I've seen 80-year-olds playing. I've I've seen people with disabilities who can't walk playing. I've seen people with mental disabilities who are with carers being able to enjoy some outdoor exercise. And
Absolutely.
none of those things are going to be brought to you by a BMX track.
No.
So yeah, it's almost like feels like quite a short-sighted decision by the council and by the local authority, and it's a bit unfortunate that it doesn't appear that they've consulted the club at all. It came out today that they haven't spoken with the owners of the equipment, so the baskets are owned by Richard Hatton and John Tweed, so they haven't spoken with them at all. They haven't consulted their lease. They've got a lease for the part of the park. They haven't even given them the courtesy of letting them know what's going on in advance before it was announced publicly.
Wow.
So yeah, lots of negative things going on there, and I really hope that there can still be some kind of compromise. And
I hope so.
yeah, it was quite nice to see that there was a councillor. One of the Bedworth councillors was on the Facebook group engaging with people and at least communicating a little bit, but it wasn't anything positive. It was just, this is what's happening and this is why it's happening, and I'm sorry, but that's what it's going to be like, which is slightly unfortunate that there was no consultation process.
No, it is sad. It's, you know, especially they haven't spoken with the stakeholders. You know, this course has been in for a number of years and it's well known. It's just, unless they're going to offer up an alternative, like this is what we can do to help you, and offer up something like that, I can't see how there's a happy ending to it.
No, exactly. It's a very unfortunate scenario, and we wish all the best to those people who's affected, who their local course. At least for those people, it doesn't make up for it, but they are in an area where there is more disc golf around. I can only imagine what it would be like for those people in the communities who've only got their one course within like an hour or something. But still, like, it's a free course, which there aren't that many of. It's a really good facility for people who might not otherwise be able to afford to play. So yeah, hopefully there's some kind of conclusion, and hopefully at the very least they get to keep their 9-hole course and maybe put a second set of tees in or something to make up for it a little bit.
Hopefully there is an alternative and they are going to do something to make it, but who knows?
Exactly. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer of a topic to have to cover, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like that.
Yeah, bit of a sad time.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Yeah, let's. So I'm not sure what the rest of the UK disc golf news is this week. Maybe somebody who could be watching in chat somewhere could let us know if there's anything I've missed out.
British Women's UK Disc Golf Association hit 40 members in 3 weeks.
Very good.
Awesome. We're one of the sponsors of them, so just want to give them a massive shout out. Carol, Rachel, and Zoe all smashed it.
Definitely.
So, that is brilliant to see. And I think what they were saying is if they got to 20 members by the end of the year, which they've now doubled, they're doing a giveaway for a upper part disc golf bag. So good luck to everyone looking for one of them.
Nice.
I've never seen one in the UK. So.
Oh, a couple of locals at Manchester have got them, and they look great, actually.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we don't have them down here.
I have it on my list for a potential new bag. I've got I've had my grip bag for 3 years now, and it's been great, but it's just started to see a few signs of being having been played. I think it's 400 and something rounds I've played with it now.
Wow.
So yeah, the bottle holder is no longer really connected, and the zip is starting to go the same way. So I think it's going to be a new bag year.
New bag.
Maybe for Christmas, but yeah, I get the upper park on my list and compare a few options when the time comes.
I'd love to have a pound bag. The Nate Sexton pound bag would be the list.
Yeah.
One.
Funny story. So I was on the Pound website this morning, and they didn't have any of the custom program available or anything. They're always so busy, but they did have the Kona Panis bag. So I was like, $450, that's kind of expensive. And then I put it in the cart with shipping, and it was $530 something. And then it converted to pounds, and it was $380, and it felt a little bit less bad. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah. So then I sent it to my wife in a text and said, Christmas, which was rebuffed somewhat.
Yeah. Oh, shipping. The other day, they had the Big Z Mantises coming out, and I was like, I'll try and get one of them. So I put it in my basket. It was only $16.99, so peanuts over here. And then shipping was $71.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
No way. Imagine that. Like, pointless. Shipping at the moment is all over the place.
Yeah, it's crazy. There are people using different suppliers and other stuff. I know that somebody in the US was trying to send me something, and they were trying to send it with USPS, and they said, "Oh, it might take 2 months to go," and they were just, "What are you?" No, so we ended up going with a different supplier, but it was very expensive. But
Well, I entered one of these. It was a big charity thing for someone who unfortunately she's passed now over in the US. So they're doing a massive charity drive for him, and I won myself 2 money stamped Undertakers. And he was like, I didn't realize from the UK, but I'll cover the shipping. How much it usually is? Like usually $10 for. And it cost him $27 to send it over.
yeah,
and I was like, he didn't have to do it, but he did. But
madness.
crazy, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't got any other UK disco news, unless anyone in the chat's got any.
Yeah, there don't really seem to be many people in the chat right now. I think at the moment people are kind of doing things in the evening and kind of watching the show back later, consuming it on YouTube. So hello to all our future listeners. Hello to you guys who aren't here right now, but will listen to this later. Good to have you with us.
You could just send us the news. We can retrospectively add it in.
Yeah, send us next week's news to make sure we don't have massive airspace gaps while we both troll Facebook looking for.
We troll the British Disc Golf Association.
For news, yeah, we do. We definitely do. But yeah, let's move on to our next topic. Why not? We've got the disc golf pro scene. It's quite a generic topic, but a couple of things to talk about. Firstly, did you get to watch any of the match play championships?
Yeah, I watched quite a bit of it. Absolutely loved the format. The course also quite good. Didn't like how it was 12 holes though.
Would you like more or less?
More,
definitely.
For full 18 holes. I'm not going to watch the Ryder Cup tomorrow, and there's only going to be 12 holes played. With match play, I do think there needs to be those 18 holes because it gives someone that chance. But yeah, I thought the whole format was really good. The payouts, equal payouts for FPO and MPO. I'm sure we'll talk about payouts a little bit later because there's some awesome news today about payouts. But yeah, I thought it was great golf. Don't about you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the format. I really enjoyed sort of the hype and the build-up as well. For me, like having the press conferences with people talking trash, having was it Missy pulling down the zip on her shirt and you're going down on her t-shirt. Ricky telling Emerson that he was never going to, he was only going to get to play 9 holes before he was going home. It was the trash talk was fantastic. We got to see some actual personality from some people who we don't normally get to hear from too much, which made it feel more like a real sport to me.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was really enjoyable. And then we got some actually fantastic golf. I personally wasn't too hot on the course. I was pretty disappointed with the course. I thought it gave certain people in the field large advantages, but didn't make certain other matchups interesting. Because I would really want to see a course for something like match play where the players really got diverse skill sets. I'd really love to see a way that they can test those players all with all the different skills. Whereas for someone like was it Chris Clemens, whose like max distance shots were getting halfway to some of the holes. He's having to throw full power 2 shots in a row to even reach the hole. And then you got someone like Eagle throwing a 700-foot turnover park job. It's just not. It's never really gonna. It doesn't showcase their skill sets. Whereas if there was a course which was entirely wooded, entirely left to right shots, then Chris Clemens' lefty forehand would probably be on a level with Eagle.
Definitely.
It's just such a luck of the draw thing for those players who happen to be good on the wide open courses.
Oh, it's been throughout the years that Eagle's played well on wide open courses. On golf courses, he's played well. When it comes down to the technical courses, doesn't play as well. But I don't think anyone could foresee him throwing a 700-foot park job on a par 4, though.
It was really cool. It
was so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Of course, overall, Eagle didn't win, which was actually surprising. I think if you'd have given me 50-50 odds on Eagle versus the rest of the field, I'd have taken Eagle. Definitely. Especially after watching the first round and how dominant he was. Exactly. But yeah, he managed to come unstuck in the last hole. The last round, he managed to throw a terrible shot on the first hole, which kind of put him behind, and then he always felt like he was scrambling a little bit.
That's the thing with match play, though. It is literally, it's the first person to make the mistake, and the other person capitalize on it, and then it is just a backwards and forth from there. But I thought FPO was awesome. I really enjoyed the FPO content. Obviously, we're massive supporters over Amside on FPO. We do a lot of stuff for FPO. I honestly was gutted for Missy. I wanted Missy to win so bad.
Yeah. No, I was cheering for Missy by the end. I didn't have her in my bracket winning, but I was cheering for Missy in the end. I was doing a bracket competition as part of Ultiworld's podcast.
Yep.
So having picked someone in every match in advance was kind of cool. Although my bracket was pretty much ruined after the first round, so so I didn't really actually have much of a shot. Cheers, Ricky. Thank you so much. I picked Gavin over Nico as well, which was a bad pick in retrospect, but
my least favourite disc golfer there is.
And I picked Kevin Jones over Garrett Gerthy as well. So
you'd pick KJ over Garrett Gerthy any day of the week, but Double G.
Yeah. Well, like we said, it was a very Double G course. There was barely any forehand shots. There was lots of power backhands. There was touchy approaches onto hills, and Kevin didn't play very well. Like, I mean, despite all that,
he's had a bit of a strange year though.
Yeah, I think there's some kind of stat where he's had the most top tens without winning.
Yeah.
Of the whole division, he's just not quite been there.
It's going to be Kevin Jones-esque to come over at USDGC and win.
Yeah. If he goes back to back, wins the Pro Tour finale and USDGC, I don't think anybody would be shocked.
No.
But it would certainly make him a lot of money, Dale.
Oh, massive amount of money because, well, they obviously it took me a while to actually realise that where it said guaranteed, it wasn't like they were telling me that was guaranteed. I had to work out that was actually a company giving money. I was staring, I was like, why that isn't on brand for Disc Golf Pro Tour. Why does it look strange? And then realised. But 30 grand a piece, £250,000 purse or $250,000 purse is, well, it's the biggest we've ever seen. And it's disc golf going in the right way. And Drew Gibson said on Instagram today, thank you. You know, PDGA gives us ratings, but Disc Golf Pro Tour gives us a living. And stuff like this really does, it showcases it.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. So for those of you who didn't follow the announcement earlier, the news was that Disc Golf Pro Tour announces the Guaranteed Rate Mortgage Company as the presenting partner of the Tour Championship. Guaranteed Rate are one of the top 5 retail mortgage lenders in the US, and they're now the presenting partner of the Tour Championships, which take place in 3 or 4 weeks' time. Mm-hmm. The payouts, the total purse is $250,000, which is the biggest purse ever in disc golf history. In total, 70,000 more than Worlds this year, and more than Ledgestone, but not more than Ledgestone plus Ledgestone's charity donation. No. So Ledgestone did raise more money, but this is the highest ever disc golf purse. 30,000 for both of the winners, and for every single person who's playing, $2,000 at least, just for making it to the finals.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And what we were saying about the PDGA and the national tour is kind of put to shame, because the person who is going to win the national tour finale this weekend, the actual tournament, not the bonus payouts, the actual tournament on FPO, is going to make just over $2,000.
Yeah, it's absolutely appalling.
All of the women showing up to play this Disc Golf Pro Tour event are going to make as much as the winner makes. So the levels there are quite... there's a big disparity. Yeah,
but as a lot of people don't like him, but as Brody keeps saying, you get people involved outside of disc golf, purse is going to go up. Getting someone like this involved is only going to increase purses. If you win something like this, it should be a life-changing amount of money. I wouldn't go to the tour season finale of the PGA and take home 50 grand. I know it's a different sport completely, but even if we took it into relative speak, they're winning millions of pounds. Disc golf isn't going to give out millions of pounds just yet, but still 30 grand is a life-changing amount of money.
Yeah, especially for some of the touring pros who are living week to week. I thought it was a really stark contrast seeing that that the payouts at the last at the match play championship were so good, and Sarah Hokum, who I particularly invested in her career, was she fourth or third or fourth in the tournament, and she took home like. She took home like $2,000 something dollars, which is a fantastic amount of money. But then you see a post that she shared on Facebook looking for people to help put Christmas lights up in their off-season job that they have to go back to at the end of the season. And you remember that disc golf isn't yet a fully legitimate career for these women on tour yet. No. And a lot of them are making enough money to get by, but they're not. They're not going to retire wealthy men and women and be able to. Just live out a life of luxury, at least except for a very few. So,
no, of course, there's a few out there. Obviously, Paige Pierce, £500,000 contract, but she's Paige Pierce. But my favourite quote to do with disc golf is that inside of disc golf, it is huge. Outside of disc golf is a grain of sand. You know, if you're outside of disc golf and you're looking in, it is tiny. But inside of disc golf, all of this means so much. And that's what we just need to do is just get the word out, more content out there. And I think in years to come, we hopefully will see it, get as big as it can.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's growing. It's definitely something interesting, and we'll keep seeing it grow. I'm sure. Like we said, this 30,000 payout for MPO and FPO is the biggest payout in disc golf history, and the second biggest was this tournament last year, where it was 20,000.
Exactly.
And I remember doing this very podcast this time last year and saying 20,000, that's so much more than anything else, because I think before that it was like 12,000 was the highest ever. So the amount is growing, the payouts we're seeing going up, and when you see that number go from 20 to 30,000, because they're balancing the payouts across the whole divisions, it's almost exponentially the total purse is going up, because the total purse is pretty much doubled from last year. So we are seeing more money going in, we are seeing it grow, which is of course what we want.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone in this sport wants the sport to get as big as possible. So hopefully we're just going to see it grow and grow and grow. And I can't wait to see what happens next year on the PDGA, on the tour. It's just exciting. Go on
then, give us your prediction, Dale. What's next year's tour going to look like when they make the announcement, which will probably be quite soon, because last year it was about this time.
I don't think there's going to be much change. I think because the change that they want to bring in, tour cards and stuff like that, can't be done overnight. It's going to have to be gradual. Obviously, next year we've got the introduction of the new major. Comes out next year. So there's going to be another major sponsored by Bushnell. And even getting someone like Bushnell involved is going to be brilliant. I don't know, really. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see purses big. I'd like to see Silver Series and Elite events broadcast better. I'd like to see more coverage. I'm a very much live coverage sort of guy.
Yeah, me too.
I do watch post coverage for the cards that I can't watch, but I'd like to see more live coverage. And I just want to see an investment in the Disc Golf Network. It's good at the moment, but it could be better.
Cool. Would you like to hear my hot takes on next season's
Please.
tour? Okay. So, I think that the National Tour will not be run next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the best of the NT events will be absorbed into the Pro Tour. That there'll be more Elite Series Pro Tour events than this year, and also more Silver Series, but that the amount that you have to play to qualify for the Match Play Championship and the finale will be reduced. So I think instead of the best, what is it this year? Is it the best 8 from 10 Pro Tours?
Yeah.
And the best 3 from 4 National Tours? They might do the best 8 from 18 or something like that, which gives the pros more choice in which tournaments they play, but it also means that all of the tournaments will be run to the standards that the Pro Tour have set, because I think the PDGA are aware that their National Tour standards aren't cutting it at the moment because the amount of complaints they're getting from the pros themselves. I think what that will do, what removing the National Tour from the PDGA will do, is because remember, the PDGA do pay someone full time to organise the National Tour.
Yep.
I'm not going to comment on what that person is doing, because other people who are more aware of the situation have done so already. But that will let that person focus on the majors, which is the other PDGA's other job.
Yeah.
And I think that if the Disc Golf Pro Tour can run the run the day-to-day tour, and the PDGA can fully invest in the majors and make all four, because there'll be 4 majors next year, of the majors as good as they possibly can be, and live up to the status of majors. Because, frankly, for the PDGA, if the majors that they're running are less well-run than the Pro Tour events that are being run every week, it's just going to be a bit embarrassing. Like, I mean, if Worlds hadn't finished the way it did and had the crazy fairy tale ending that it did have, I think the talking points from Worlds would be all the niggly issues that the pros had, like the no driving range and then spray painting bunkers and all of the issues that they had. So I think it's going to be interesting to see where they take all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely agree.
So we'll have to see if my no national tour take is right. I got that off your buddy Paul Macbeth's Twitter. In fact,
yeah.
He said this week that this might be the last national tour ever. So that was what made me go down that rabbit hole of thinking.
Down the rabbit hole that is disc golf.
Yeah, my brain is one big disc golf rabbit hole, I tell you.
Brilliant. But yeah, not much in the US. I think we've got obviously Music City Open this weekend. I think there's still been controversy around that. There
really has, yeah. So the national tour finale, but the payouts for the actual tournament are the minimum possible for an elite series, which is a bit sad to see. But they do have the good bonus payouts.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a shame that we haven't really seen any kind of promotion of that, because there's actually a really cool race going on in both divisions. Because you've got, obviously, Paige Pierce and Eagle haven't really been playing national tours this year, so you've got battles between Paul and Ricky on the MPO side, and it's really close between Kat Allen and somebody you wouldn't expect. Is it Holly Finley?
Yeah.
On the FPO side, and they're both within a few points. So I think basically Kat has to come third or better to win the bonus tour, and the bonus tour are getting like $5,000 bonus. So definitely worth.
It's worth getting out of the bed for this weekend, isn't it? I'll get out of bed for $5,000 this weekend to play disc golf.
Exactly. So I know we said Paige Pierce is not normally playing national tours, but she is playing this weekend, and that's because she wants to win the Player of the Season race. You don't actually get anything for winning Player of the Season, I don't think, but it's nice to have it on your resume.
You get a disc that people buy and then sell for £300, I suppose.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and that's the way it's all going these days. But yeah, the Player of the Season. I know Paige was embroiled in some drama last year where she said she clearly was Player of the Season, and the PDGA made it so that she wasn't, and then they promoted her to being tied Player of the Season or something. It was all a bit of a mess. But she wants to win it outright this year. And to do so, she needs to be able to gain a few more points because she's currently second to Kat Allen in the Player of the Season race. So
everyone loves Paige, but I prefer in the FPO. Missy Gannon's my favourite FPO player. Absolutely, think she's brilliant. I think Paige's attitude sometimes comes into play and just isn't great.
Yeah, I think Paige is a good ambassador for the sport. I think my personal favourite player on the FPO side is Hayley King.
Yes.
Which, for anyone who knows me, I pick Hayley and I pick Eagle, and I like that they're the talented ones, but they've got the mental game struggles that you get to watch week to week.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy being able to hear how they're thinking about things and how they're struggling with the things that they're thinking about. Clearly, probably aside from Paige, the two naturally most gifted players in MPO and FPO. But
absolutely.
But it really just depends on what they're
what's going on in their life that week, because they're young and it must be difficult touring at that age, because Eagle's not, he's a young guy as well, so still got a lot more disc golf to come from them too.
Years and years.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was the disc golf pro tour news we wanted to get to. Yes. Really interesting to hear your takes on it all. Of course, one of my favourite things to talk about. So I'll keep talking about it on and on and on if we don't move on. So we'll push the button. And talk about the other thing I wanted to talk about this week, which is the UK's best courses. And the thing that brought this on in my mind was the fact that I travelled to Fellingerry to play the Fellingerry Invitational, which was a fantastically well-run tournament. The facilities are great. If you ever get the chance to go to Fellingerry, I would highly, highly recommend it. But yeah, it's a really good mix of wooded holes and non-wooded holes, which is they've got two very distinct courses, which are both short, and they kind of mash them together for the tournament. So the reason that came into my mind is because I was thinking, where do I put Fellingarry on my list of UK's best courses? So I'm going to start right now with the fact that it's not my favourite course in the country, and it's also not my second favourite course in the country.
Oh.
So course number 1 for me, Bluebell Woods in Scotland. Going there next weekend. I am so excited. No show next week, by the way, if anybody's interested, because I'll be on the road. But yeah, Bluebell Woods, my number 1 course. Everything that I love about disc golf takes place at Bluebell Woods. You get epic shots, you get big forests, you get really beautiful scenery, and really technical, challenging holes as well. So that's my number 1 course. That's the pinnacle for me. Me and my friends spend literally hours a month, talking about how we would change or adapt Bluebell Woods, how we'd run it, how if we had 500 grand to spend, we could turn it into the UK's Java, all the hypotheticals. But
is that where you won MA3 last year?
I won MA2
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the pouring rain, I remember.
Yeah, that was actually the Scottish Open, not the Caledonian, but the Scottish Open moves places. It was in Glasgow this year.
Okay.
We don't talk about the Scottish Open this year, Dale.
No, we don't.
No, we
trouble.
We keep quiet about that one because I definitely didn't shoot a 770 rated final round, and yeah,
oh well,
definitely didn't happen.
No, that didn't happen. We'll scratch that from the record.
Yeah, Noah says that they're literally talking about it now in the group chat, so I'm on.
Oh no,
I'm on point with the Bluebell discussion. But yeah, that's my number 1 course in the country, and the number 2 course, Quarry Park. Dell does great things at his course. He's turned it into
a mecca.
Exactly, a disc golf destination in the UK. Taken his little bit of land and turned it into literally the best disc golf course you could put on that property, which is always amazing to me. Nobody has discussions in their group chats about how you can tweak Quarry Park to make it better. No. Quarry Park is Quarry Park, and the one thing which always blows me away, I think I said this on the podcast last week, but the one thing that blows me away about Quarry Park is the difference between the blue course and the red course. They're so similar in layout, but they add so much difficulty between the two different sets of tees. The way Dell's managed to make it so that there's always an obstacle just off the tee that makes you think about the shot in a different way between the two courses. You could play the two courses one after the other and feel like you were playing a completely different property. It's unbelievable, and that would be my number 2. And then the question comes whether Fellingarry is number 3.
What was number 3?
You see, I'm not 100% sure what was number 3. It kind of chops and changes a little bit. We've got Gillies to go in somewhere. I think that's going to be really dependent on when he gets the full lot out, because I don't think I can put a 12-hole course in my top 10.
No.
And then there's Cotswolds, of course, which I love. But it is kind of it's not big and majestic, the Cotswolds course. It's kind of specific and technical in a right now you're going to throw this shot, and if you don't throw this shot, you're going to hit a tree and you're going to kick left into a big pile of nothing, and then you're going to pitch out into the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
And I love the Cotswolds course, I really do, but I don't think I can rate it in my top 10. Well, in my top 10 definitely it will be, but I don't think I can put it in my top 5.
Your top 5.
So yeah, it's really quite a question. I really like the Springburn course in Glasgow, even if it did bad things to me. I think that's one of the best park style courses we've got. Of course, I like Longford Park in Manchester, which is my home course. But I've played there a lot now, and the problem I have with Longford Park is it's not a course which you're going to get very good at by only playing there, because once you've mastered throwing a 100-meter straight shot and a 110-meter hyzer, neither of which I've mastered, definitely not putting that out there, but once you've mastered those two things, there's probably 8 of the holes that are just going to be, oh, here you go, we'll play this hole.
Yeah.
the course is fantastic. It's really well looked after, really well run. It's a really great disc golf venue, and the tee pads are great, and the stuff. But the actual park itself, we've already maxed out what it can do. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we talk about the British Championships, but because that's going to be at Longford Park a little bit. But we're at the point where if we want to make the course harder, we're basically doing a Winthrop and putting OB out, because we've used the physical properties of the course. Yeah,
it's all about what you can do with OBs and hazards and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, so there we go. So that course is probably in my top. It's probably about number 5 in the UK for me. Of course, there's Croydon. Croydon's course is a bit of a beast. It deserves to be up there just for the difficulty level.
Oh, if you've got a sidearm, yeah, that's what I mean. You've got to have a good backhand turnover, though, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I need to go back to Croydon because I haven't been since I was kind of 800 rated. So so I need to go play it with my improved skill set. I'm sure I'll be humbled enough when I do go back. But
my first ever PDGA round was at Croydon.
Oof, that's a rough one. My first ever PDGA win in MA4 was at Croydon. Nice. But yeah, it was an interesting place to play when not yet very good at the game.
I nearly got an ace. Basically, all these cyclists are basically dismounted and we're in the fairway. And there's a hole where you're a little bit higher up and you're shooting down. And I've got my Raptor out and I threw a huge spike hyzer and it literally hit chains and came out.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
It would have been cool if it went in, but still looking for that first elusive ace.
You'll get it soon, I'm sure.
Well, I hope so. I see you 4 now.
Yep, 4 full course ones, and then a handful of Quarry Park short course ones, which I don't usually tend to put on my list because some of them were second shots, some of them were just messing around on an evening, some of them were in proper rounds, but the holes are like 40-45 meters, so
it's like a jump putt.
Yeah.
Almost.
Some of them. I wish I could jump up 45 meters. Jesus.
Yeah. It's kind of yeah.
We got Paul in the chat asking, would fairways sit in my top 10? Fairways probably, I think fairways probably would sit in my top 10, Paul. I've only played it the once, so I'd probably want to play it a few more times and get a little bit more used to some of the holes. But the thing that fairways has got over most of the rest of the UK courses is it's actually still properly maintained as a golf course.
Yeah, exactly.
But the holes at fairways aren't just, okay, well, we're doing disc golf hole 1, let's play golf hole 1. It's like crossing fairways and zigzagging up and down hills and using the natural features of the property rather than using the straight lines of the golf course, which was the thing that made it unique for me.
Definitely.
Like I played at Lichfield the other day. Lichfield's a good course, definitely not in my top 10 though, because it's just like, okay, well, here's the pitch and putt course. Let's put disc golf holes starting at the tee of the pitch and putt tee and the basket by the basket of the pitch and putt hole, and we'll play that. And yeah, it's fine. It's a good course. It's fun. You get to throw like 100 meter downhill rollers, 110 meter downhill rollers. It's great. Like you get to do all sorts of things, and there are some really difficult holes at it. But is it in my top 10? Would I go out of my way? Oh, we could go play Quarry Park this weekend. We could go play Cotswolds this weekend. Oh, we could go play Lichfield this weekend. No, not really. So, but yeah, it is a good course. So I'm just lucky that we've got this many good courses in the UK where we even get to have this discussion, because I don't think you would get to have that.
No, it is. They are popping up.
Yeah,
a bit more frequently now, which is good.
And you'd get a lot of people probably listening to this later saying, "Why aren't you mentioning X, Y, Z?" So I'm only mentioning courses I've played at. I can't really be like Essex. Let's put Essex in my top 10. I'm sure it would be there if I had been there, but I haven't, so I can't. Same with Whitcomb. Same with the big course at Mount Edgecombe. Yeah, not really able to put them in my top 10 yet, but I would like to one day.
Got to get playing.
Yeah, I got to get down to Essex. I've got to come and hang out with you.
I've told you, I'll have you. I'd love to show you around the courses around here. There's 3 off the top of my head that we could do like a day where we just go around them all. So let's get it booked in next year.
Yeah, make that happen.
Definitely. Absolutely.
I've been saying for about literally 10 years that I'm going to go stay with my friend in Kent as well.
Oh yeah, just the other side of Dartford crossing.
And I have still never been. I don't think in my entire life I've been in Kent. If I'm going to be completely honest, maybe when I went to the Eurostar, I drove through it then. But that would be it. So I need to do that as well. So I'll have to have a southeast.
I like it.
Trip. I did southwest this year. I did north. I do northwest most of the time.
Yeah.
I've done northeast plenty of times, and I've done Scotland, and I've done Wales now, Glengarry, and I've done Northern Ireland, but I haven't done your corner yet. So I'll have to
you
fit
can
that
make your
one
way
in.
down.
So which other courses are we putting in our UK best courses discussion? What are the best ones you've played, Dale?
So for me, Croydon obviously is one of my favourites. My top course is Essex. I love Essex. I think it's long, it's technical, and the uni really does make for a great setting of a disc golf course. You know, you're playing around the students. You know, the students don't get in the way because of how it's laid out. You very rarely have to wait because students are walking past or anything like that. You know, there's a nice little course that popped up this time last year, West Side, which is all castle baskets. And that's like on a pitch and putt golf course. But again, it's not like here's hole one, you're playing to the side of the green. You know, it is a nice little course. And it's where I really started. It's the first place I went. It's where I discovered it. I went and picked up a disc. So that's definitely got a place in my heart. And now that it's only 5 minutes away from where I work, is great.
Nice. Yeah, that is good.
I'd say Creeksea, but everyone knows I hate Creeksea. It's an incredible course. It really is. You know, it's a dedicated course. It's a fiver for the whole day, and the food there is just brilliant. It just does not suit me. I don't know why. Every time I go there, I just don't get on with it. It makes me go back to basics. You know, I'm like, why am I this bad at disc golf on this course? Why am I throwing like 60-meter shots when I should be throwing like? It's like, how have I only thrown this disc 60 meters? I throw this like 100 meters. Why is this happening to me? I don't know what. I think there's some sort of magnetic field or something.
Yeah, you're describing picture perfect how I feel at Quarry Park.
I still need to play Quarry Park. I need to get down. I need to get there. It is definitely next year. I'm 100% making my way up to Quarry Park and just blitzing it.
Every single time I go to play a tournament at Quarry Park, I say, this is the time when I play at Quarry Park, and it goes how it's supposed to go. And the last tournament there, the first round, with 4 holes to go on the black course, I was 4 under par.
Wow.
And that would have been 1,000 rated if I just kept that.
Yeah.
It was all going great, and then I went bogey, par, double bogey, bogey to finish.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, finished even par, and then went off the rails and shot +9 and +15 in the next 2 rounds. So you know.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, 4 weeks time or so, I get what must be about round 8 at Quarry Park. Let's do it again and.
Absolutely. Again.
And this time will be the time where I don't decide to get my distance drivers out in the last round and ruin everything.
Sometimes going back to basics.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. So yeah, I was kind of saying we kind of got off track there. I was trying to put Glengarry in my list, and I think I'm going to put it third.
Nice.
I think in my head, if I was going to go anywhere right now, Bluebell Woods, Quarry Park, and then Glengarry. The new woods holes in on the woods are insane. Like, they're the most steep elevation on any disc golf course I've even conceived of. You don't see anything like it on the Pro Tour. You don't see anything like it in any other course I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's like there's a 45-meter hole that I didn't reach in any of my rounds.
Oh my god!
Because it's so steep uphill that you're basically like, I was like, should I throw a grenade? Like, would that go forward enough? Like, there's par 4s in the woods which are just like, hit this line and watch it fly, but also like, if you don't hit this line, you are in serious trouble.
Reminds me a bit like Funky Farms, Ben Askins' course.
Yeah, there's all sorts going on. The tee pads, I don't know why nobody else has ever seemingly done this, but they're like gravel, but with metal mesh in the gravel, but then overlaid with softer something, and then like that they're, even though every single hole is on like a 45-degree angle or falling off a cliff, like the tee pads are perfectly flat. They're fantastic tee pads in the woods. They're and also the whole experience at Fellingerry is like, I know it's not really fair to judge the disc golf course on the experience, but it's insane. Like, you go and they've got these glamping tents where they've got wood-fired showers. You have to like stoke up the fire to get your shower going in the morning. They've got this really great cafe bar where they do wood-fired pizzas and really good food. We had the carvery on the Sunday, which was just like spectacularly good.
They want to make it, don't they, to a resort, a disc golf resort. That's what they want.
And honestly, it kind of feels like that already, which is great. Like, I know it's probably they're putting it on for the tournament, but in the evening, like, they put mini baskets on a load of the tables, and like people were just like hanging out with the discs, and they've got the pro shop with discs for sale. Yeah, it did actually feel a little bit like a disc golf place, which is nice considering the course is still fairly new and they haven't got the fully invested in disc golf yet. But
they're getting there. Absolutely.
Yeah, so Fellingerry going in at number 3. So if you're fancying a disc golf trip and you don't mind a long drive, because the one thing about Fellingerry is it's not close to anywhere.
No.
Unless you're already going to be in Aberystwyth, which is only an hour and a half away, like, you're really not going to be closer than that.
No.
So
it was like a 5-hour drive for me to get to Fellingerry.
Yeah, it was almost 5 hours for me, but well worth it actually. So,
but it's not a day trip, is it? You're going there for a weekend or a few days away.
Yeah, I think so.
It kind of makes it worth it.
Yeah, and the other thing that you'll find at Fellingerry is that if you're playing the woods course as well as the open bits, you're probably going to be able to play maybe 2 rounds in a day. You'll be all right. I don't think many people would be up for 3 rounds. I think the amount of up and down hills. I think I did 87 flights of stairs equivalent on the day when I played 2 rounds there. So
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. It certainly was. So there you go. That's my official recommendation of the week. Go play at Fellingerry.
Go play Fellingerry. Brilliant.
Cool. Well, we've got about 7 minutes left of the show, Dale. Let's talk about the AM side a little bit. How are things going on the AM side?
Really good. We didn't expect it to go as well as it would. When we first started it was just me and Rob wanted to talk about disc golf, and then we started talking to some pros, and then we got a few pros on, and now we've spoke to some of the best pros out there, and it's week in, week out. This week was different. Since starting, I love the USDGC, and talking to Jonathan Paul of the USDGC was awesome. Finding out what goes into that major and where it started and where it's going was brilliant. But yeah, couldn't be more grateful for everyone's support, and just the listen numbers is really good. So very happy we started it. A few weeks left of the tour. We'll keep going, and then we're going to take a break over the off season.
Nice.
We're going to need it for next season. Is going to be double as big.
Excellent. Cool. That's good to hear. I'm really excited to listen to the USDGC one. I've actually got a few to catch up on that I'm excited on. I've been dedicating most of my podcast time to the Ultiworld podcast at the moment, because they've gone to 2 shows a week. That suddenly took up a lot more of my life. But
2 shows a week. That's intense.
Yeah, well, they were getting to a point where their 1 show a week was going like 2 and a bit hours a week, which was starting to get like, they thought it was starting to get 2 large chunks, so they split it into 2 kind of 1-hour shows. Nice. Which is pretty good, and they somehow don't run out of content. So so there you go. They're my if I had to give you a disc golf podcast recommendation, I'd be giving you that one. Of course, I'd be giving you the AM side as well.
Of course, but, we've got a few good guests coming for the end of the year. If you haven't listened to, we've had sort of Germon, Brody, all the names that everyone knows in disc golf. So go have a chat, because they don't often come over to the UK and want to speak to the UK, and it's good to get out there.
Yeah, I'm keen to listen to the Scott Stokely one because he's one of I think he's super interesting character, and I would love to talk to him one day. So
honestly, Harry, if I recommend anyone to go and listen to a podcast, anyone out of We've Done is that one. I've never left a guest interview as I did that. We had to put it on. It's on explicit rating, as for good measure, because we couldn't cut anything. You know, the stories that he tells and where that guy's been and how he got to where he is now it couldn't be cut. It is physically was. I would be doing him a disservice if I did that. This guy's an absolute hero, and so glad we chatted with him.
Okay, it's official. I'm going to listen to that tomorrow. I'm going to get the Scott Stokely one on tomorrow.
Well, when we chat this weekend, I want to know your opinion. Because I think, Jimmy, for knowing someone like you who, likes Scott Stokely, likes what he does, and what he's about, believe me, you'll love it.
Let's go. I'm excited.
Good.
You got me hyped.
Good. That's what I like to do.
So yeah, there you go. More coming soon from the Am side.
Always.
And more coming soon from Don't Shoot. No, we got no show next week, but then hopefully the week after that we are going to speak to somebody who's not been on the show yet, another member of the UK community. So hopefully we've got that getting hooked up in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely. As always, Don't Shoot. It was the foundation of disc golf content in the UK. So everyone, you've got to support it. Make sure everything you do, Harry, is always great. You're always helping out the community.
Yeah, and thank you so much, guys, for the support on the Tour Series discs. On the I got my yellow Photon here, my Day Glow one. Thanks so much for buying these and supporting our retail partners and stuff. Really means a lot. It's been good. Got some cool plans for things like that in the future. I think we're gonna be getting some minis at some point. That are gonna. I think we might get some in the UK, but they're mostly for some people in the US. And yeah, they're pretty nice. And highly recommend checking out the discs on Disc Golf UK and on London Disc Golf Community. I've actually sold pretty much all of mine. So if you were hoping to get one from me, I've got a couple of misprints left. That's all I've got. But get them off our partners, and they've got loads. So. And they're flying nice as well. I got both in my bag. They're actually really good runs. So
still not for an MVP. So
I'm sending you one, Dale. I'm putting something in a box and sending it down.
I said I'll try it. Someone needs to get something that's not discraft in my bag, because at the moment it's all discraft in there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to send you one down and see if I can displace something.
I look forward to it.
I got that Meteor, and it lasted about 3 minutes before it was back on the buy sell trade page.
I saw that. And
yeah.
When I as I said, I was going to pay for the Meteors. I'll pay to have discraft in your bag, and the fact that it went on for sale like an hour later was the best thing ever.
I threw it I took it down to the field and I threw it like 10 times. I didn't get it. I didn't understand how a -3 disc could be so overstable. I was questioning everything I knew about disc golf.
I bagged 4 of them.
Then I took it down to the course and played one round with it. Hole 16, I threw it off the drive. I shanked it into a bush. I threw a second shot, which was much better. I played my second shot, and I completely forgot that the disc was even there. Came back for it the next day, still in the bush, luckily, and then it went back on the buy sell trade page. So
great, what a story!
Yeah, that was my Meteor experience. So there you go. The quest to get Discraft in my bag continues for the the future.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time, Dale. Thanks for hanging out, and everybody for listening and checking it out. And I'll see some of you in 2 weeks' time for the next show. Until then, good night.